strike me down, I shall become more powerful than you could possibly imagine.
Welcome back. It has been a very busy day on the channel here for video number 3 because we have some breaking news. We have our first governance proposal for Splinterlands. So let's not waste any time. Let's go over here and let's show you guys first off, where can you find this governance proposal at? This governance proposal, if you come over here to your SPS screen, it is under proposals. Right there is proposals. You can then come over here and you can see this title, Split Ranked Battle Reward Pools by League. If you click on it, it's going to take you to a post where it's going to break this down a little bit. So we're going to look at this. And first, let's look at the initial distribution, because it shows you how many votes needed to pass. There's already enough votes to pass. It is overwhelmingly voted for. This is something that apparently the community is very fond of. It's something that a lot of people have asked for quite a bit. So I 100% expect this to pass. You guys can go vote on it. I actually haven't voted on it yet because I'm not as convinced as everybody else. There are some concerns that I have. So we'll talk about that just a little bit. Overall, I think this is going to be something that's good. I do think it is going to pass. Let's come over here. Let's take a look at what it is. Splinterlands' team would like to propose a change to how the SPS rewards for ranked battles are distributed. So right now, everyone who plays competes for the same SPS rewards for each of the two pools. They're divided by Modern and Wild. But there is a set pool that goes to battle rewards for Modern, for example. And unlike the chest rewards, where each league has its own pool, the chest rewards are not divided by league. So there's a fixed pool that's split up based on everybody that's playing in Modern, and it doesn't, obviously players that play in higher leagues are going to gain more reward shares, so they are going to gain a higher percentage of that pool per account, but those rewards can actually be drained by lower accounts if there are more accounts playing. So if there are 100,000 accounts playing in Bronze, and we jump up to 300 accounts playing in Bronze that are earning the same amount of reward shares as before, that will actually lower the rewards across the pool across the board for everybody, even if the number of players in Silver and Gold and Diamond don't change. With this proposal would change that, and it would give each league its own pool. So Bronze, instead of having access to the entire pool potentially, would only get access to 90,000 SPS for each format. So a total of 180,000 SPS per season for the Bronze League. And that means that, okay, if we have 100,000 Bronze accounts playing, and then we jump up to 300,000 Bronze accounts playing, well, that will cut everybody in Bronze's rewards down to a third of what it was before, but it will not impact anybody in the higher leagues. Now, theoretically, if you're adding a bunch of Bronze players, you're probably adding some other pools above it as well, but some of these we can see some of these exploits where instead of people leveling up a single account, they keep adding more accounts, right? And find that maybe the ROI is higher in lower leagues, so they add more and more accounts, and that's certainly been a problem. Instead of progressing single accounts, players are adding multiple accounts. So this is kind of a way to combat that a little bit, and this is something that's definitely been asked for. And I think if you compare the distribution that we have right now as I'm making this video to the distribution if we made this change on here, this is a clear upgrade, and I am 100% for it. This is going to push rewards up towards higher leagues, which I know some new players will complain about, but it's something that is needed, because in a game like this where you can have multiple accounts and things like that, the ROI has to be better in higher leagues in order to incentivize players to combine cards and to move up. And right now we just don't have that. So this is another step towards that. Because, and we hear all the time, oh, there's too many cards out there. Well, there are too many cards because everybody's playing in the lower leagues and there's no incentive to climb up. If you start getting players to combine the cards together and combine these accounts together, the card supply will dwindle very quickly. These card supplies are made to decrease over time as people combine those cards together. So there just needs to be more incentive to climb leagues. And so at first, this seems like it's going to be a great system. That's certainly going to pass because, okay, who are the, and let's be honest here, who are the players that are not going to like this? It's going to be the Bronze or Silver League players. I'm sure I'm going to get some complaints down below about how it continues to be just a whale game. And but the bottom is that the ROI needs to be higher at the higher leagues, and this is voted on based on SPS. So the players that have the SPS are the ones that are governing. Those are usually the higher league players. So I fully expect this proposal to pass, but I have some concerns about it. Okay, and I want to see if I can kind of lay this out here, because the system we have now is not the final system. Okay, let's go over to the white paper. Remember, from the white paper, from the very beginning, if I can, we will pull up another tab there. If we come to the white paper from the very beginning, ranked battle rewards are supposed to be modified by the amount of staked SPS that is on a player. Because again, right now staked SPS just earns a flat rate. Remember, that's kind of just a placeholder until this proper system is built, where the staked SPS will go on players, and then the person with the SPS will earn extra SPS from the staking rewards based on how that player performs, and then the actual player will gain a bonus to their reward shares based on how much SPS they have gotten others to stake on them. And once this system is in place, it's going to drastically change the distribution of the reward pool. Because again, who are the players that have the staked SPS? A lot of times you're going to, or even regardless of who actually has it, you're going to find more staked SPS on the higher level players, right? Because that generates a better return. Now, it's going to be the more SPS that is staked on a player, you get diminishing returns, because those staked rewards are distributed amongst all the SPS that's staked on that account. So higher league accounts will be earning more SPS for the stakeholders that have placed SPS on them. But then the more you get, the more diminishing returns you'll have as well. But the point is that if there's more SPS staked on you, which there will be on higher league players, you get a higher % of your reward shares. So this is a placeholder. And I know it's kind of hard to understand. Some of you have a hard time visualizing the math, and it's kind of hard to explain it because the system does get kind of complicated. But the 1,000 is a placeholder. But if we use that 1,000 as an example, and again, it probably won't be 1,000. That's a pure placeholder. But with that number, if you have, if you have 10 SPS staked on you, you're going to get about 1% of your reward shares. If you have 1,000 SPS staked on you, you're going to get about 50% of your reward shares. And then again, that continues to climb, and you do kind of eventually get diminishing returns there. But the more SPS staked on a player, the higher % of their reward shares. Then that is compared to everybody else to determine your reward. So if you have, again, I said if you have 100 SPS, I actually didn't use this example, but if you have 100 SPS, you get 10% of your rewards, or 9% of your rewards. Of your reward share. It doesn't necessarily mean you get 9% of your rewards, because it's compared to everybody else. When your SPS now, when your SPS battle rewards are factored in, you take the reward shares that you gain for that battle, and then you multiply, or then you divide it. Well, okay, let's start over. SPS, you take your reward shares that you earned from that battle, and you divide it by the total reward shares earned over the last 24 hours, and you get that % of the pool. So if everybody's earning a reduced reward shares, then the % can kind of stay the same, right? So the overall % isn't necessarily important. It's the % relative to the rest of the game. So if these rewards are not broken down by league, that means a lot of the rewards would shift up to higher leagues, as you have the higher league players getting more SPS staked on them and earning a higher % of their R shares. So those rewards would shift up drastically. But now you're basically comparing the SPS staked on you to the players that will be in your league, which could be good or could be bad. It's going to be interesting to see how that shakes out. Let's look at how it could be bad, for example, because okay, right now bronze is going to get that 180,000 SPS, right? A lot of bronze accounts are bots. Well, if every bot just has 1 SPS staked on them, then if every account is getting 0.001% of their rewards or whatever it ends up being, when you're comparing it to the total, they all still get the same thing. So if a small number of players are controlling these bot farms, it's very easy for them just to decide, okay, we're not going to stake much SPS at all, and then we can take all the rewards from that pool still. So they'll still be able to collect that. Whereas if they weren't divided up and the bot farms didn't stake much SPS, they were only taking a fraction of that percent, that means those rewards would then shift up to everybody in the higher leagues who are staking SPS on themselves. And there would be more incentive to place that SPS on you. So that, I don't necessarily know how that's going to happen. I'm very intrigued to see how this works out and how the distribution model works once staking on players is here. How much gets staked across different players, different leagues? Are you going to have some third-party tools that will optimize the best places to stake your SPS on? So SPS will do a good job of finding players that don't have a lot of SPS on them that are performing well. I don't know. So I'm not necessarily saying this is bad. I'm saying that everybody's looking at this proposal as 100% it's a great thing. And I'm thinking it's a great thing short term, but could it flip against us whenever staking on players comes and that formula gets added? And things might, if we look at the higher leagues, things could be interesting, because again, if there's a set pool for champion, well, a lot of these champion players have tons of SPS, right? And we'll have lots of SPS staked on them, and we'll be getting near 100% of their reward shares. But then what happens if you're a player? Maybe you're renting whatever, you don't have a lot of SPS staked on you, or you're just a new player who's coming up and hasn't quite found that SPS yet, and you jump into these higher leagues and you're earning what would be good reward shares, but compared to those players in your league, if you're only getting 10-20% of your reward shares, or everybody else is getting near 100%, your rewards aren't necessarily going to look very good there. Whereas if, okay, you were getting 10-20% of your rewards of your rewards shares from champion, and comparing that to the rest of the league or the rest of the game itself, it might look a little more favorable. So I don't know. Again, I'm probably gonna vote for it, because I think, again, at least short term, it's going to be a good thing. And the reality is we can go back and use a governance proposal to change it if it doesn't work out, right? If this ends up biting us, then we can say, okay, well, turns out this wasn't so good after all. Let's throw another proposal together to get rid of it. So, and that might be the case, and surely we can always go and do that. So I'll probably go support this for the time being. But I wanted to just make a video first off showing how cool this is, that we can finally go vote for what we want to see in the game and what changes we want to see in the game. And yeah, even though this might even be kind of a token proposal, it's still pretty cool that it's out there. But then I also just kind of wanted to share some concerns about how this could potentially go wrong. It's more playing devil's advocate than, I'm not really campaigning against this proposal, because it's something that I've actually argued for. I've spent actually a lot of time talking to the team about this in past months, about how I wanted to see rewards distributed more like this. So some of them are probably going to be watching this video like, he spent forever trying to get this in the game, and now he's doing a video talking about the negatives. It's more of me playing devil's advocate, because again, I am going to go vote for it, absolutely. But that's just kind of some of my concerns there anyway. So I don't know. Thanks for watching, guys. I appreciate it. Let me know how are you voting for this with your SPS, and I'm very intrigued to see, because I expect that the conversations I have on Discord, which are more, and especially in like the Mav chat with players who've bought over 1,000 packs, and a lot of them have SPS, have been where this is definitely going to be supported, and they're overwhelmingly in favor of it. I expect that to be a different type of voice than some of the more casual players that don't have a lot of SPS playing down in lower leagues, and might see some of those rewards sent up to higher leagues. But I don't know if it helps get rid of some of the bot farms. I think a lot of the casual players will very much be in favor of it. So, or at least move the bot farms up into some higher leagues to try and spend those resources to compete. we'll see. So I'm very curious to see what the average player has to say in the comment section about this proposal, because two things we definitely hear about is it's too much of a whale game and it's dominated by bots. Well, this favors whales but hurts bots. So where's the opinion going to fall there? But overall, I do think it's good for the economy, and that's certainly important. So I can't wait to read the comments section. Thanks a ton. I'll see you guys on the next one.